Where was the leader? Oh, what the fuck was that sound?
That was Asher.
Asher.
Oh.
You know what? Fuck you.
He's dead. Poppy Playtime! Chapter 3's still not out yet. Where is it at? I need it.
No. Don't do that. That's what happened to Cyberpunk 2077.
God. Oh, you're right.
Do not be like that.
Although, I
I've
will
been
say
waiting
this.
on Elder Scrolls 6 for a very long time.
Well, that's because Todd Howard...
I have much grounds to be annoyed at this point.
Well, it's because
but
Todd
I still
Howard's
am
a
under the
shithead,
impression
dude.
that if it ever exists, then it exists.
Well, it's because Todd Howard's a shithead, dude. He's just like, let's use the creation engine. We've had the same engine for 15 years. Doesn't matter. Yeah. It's like...
I just saw, by the way, today that Bethesda has confirmed Fallout 5.
But, yeah.
If Fallout 5 comes out before Elder Scrolls 6, then y'all can suck my dick, Bethesda. I'm just going to say that. I will never buy a single one of your games again, because that is not fair.
Fair, yeah.
And everybody who's a Fallout fan. Y'all suck.
Nick expressing the utmost of rage.
I feel like it's justified at this point. They've had two.
Yeah.
If they get a third one and I still don't have one.
Well, technically they've had one and like a shitty nubbin vert kind of game, Fallout 76. Still, well, yeah, it's kind of. I guess it still kind of counts as a full release, but that game was just so shitty. And it's better now. A lot of people say it's actually really good now, but it's like, yeah, it only took them 5 years to fix it.
It doesn't even make sense from a business standpoint for them to be putting out multiple Fallout games in a row whenever Skyrim was one of the biggest video games of all fucking time.
Oh, of course it does, dude, because why release the next Elder Scrolls game when they could just keep re-releasing Elder Scrolls 5 and
Elder
it's just
Scrolls 5 for your fridge.
Exactly. It's just it's like Elder Scrolls 5, but with improved graphics that mess up your game. It's like, oh, how about Elder Scrolls Skyrim, but with secret chests that can make you look like Link from Legend of Zelda.
I don't understand how everybody keeps buying Skyrim again and again, man. I played the living shit out of it when it came out for 2 years.
Yep.
And I tried to go back to it, and I played it too much. It's not fun anymore. I tried to mod the hell out of it. It's still not fun anymore.
Yeah.
I need the next one. What?
Well, tell that to Todd Howard. Oh, wait. It just works. That's what Todd would tell you. It just works.
Off the rails as usual. So.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be talking about horror games. Now I'm raging about Bethesda.
Oh, I'm talking about a horror game. I'm talking about the horrific handling of Bethesda's properties by one Todd fucking Howard. If that's not a horrific thing, I don't know what is. Congratulations, Todd. You went from one of my favorite people in the gaming industry to one of my least favorite people in the gaming industry. Instead of making up and owning up for your mistakes, you're just going to blame your community and shit all over the people that made you rich. Go fuck yourself.
Wait, are we talking about Todd Howard or Neil Druckmann?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, on to this.
He just said yes. You said two names.
Because the description he just literally gave was also exactly correct for Neil Druckmann.
And I say yes because it goes for both of those fuckers.
That's great.
They can both get the dick.
Okay,
Anyway.
let's watch this.
Restricted restoration. I don't know what this is about. I saw this pop up. Figured we'd watch this before we got to the... Braun?
Test subject is 59-year-old Thomas Clark, a full-time employee at Playtime Co. since 1955. 6 months ago, he was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. Now, Mr. Clark, of sound mind, has volunteered for this experiment.
Oh.
Can you hear us, Thomas?
Look at his eyes.
$11.99.
So they've just straight up confirmed.
Yeah.
Basically half of Matt Pat's theories.
That they're
They're
putting
turning people into toys.
People into toys.
specifically employees,
Mm-hmm.
and
Possibly children.
this can only go good. I say sarcastically. I say, yeah.
I have to say, though, if I'm diagnosed with terminal lung cancer and they're like, well, we can allow you to live out your life eternally as a toy brontosaurus, I would be like, what?
No.
Pass.
Can you just give me some
Just-
chemo drugs? Like
yeah.
some chemotherapy, please?
Just give me a bunch of weed.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah. Like, give me some weed and some chemo drugs, dude. I'll be good.
It's like,
No
once
chemo,
this is
just
over,
weed.
I don't have to pay bills anymore.
Than we expected. Subsequent mental testing metrics were also cut practically in half. It's just conjecture on my part, but I don't believe he knows where he is or what's happened to him. To make matters worse, the other experiments could tell 1199 was different.
Other experiments.
Oh, look.
So they have others that are not people.
$11.99. He talked about that one.
Oh, this is going to unlock so much stuff for Matt Pat.
Oh, yes. But look at it. He's looking around. He's just like, how did I get here? PJ Pugapillar?
Oh, so creepy.
Oh, that's terrifying. Huggy? Oh, no.
Oh.
They
wrong.
would have killed him had the research team not intervened, and even then, there was still significant damage to the internal structures with some of the anatomy, namely the larynx and the thyroid, having been completely devoured. It took 12 hours in surgery to stabilize 1199.
So he's 11.99.
Keep him separated from the others now.
He's staring at the camera.
Damn.
So the other toys basically saw him and were just like, yeah. Oh, look at the little mini. Also, they're moving. You can see them moving ever so slightly.
Oh, there's little huggies.
Yeah, that's the ones in the tunnels, remember? That we had to smack in the face to
Yeah.
keep them from eating us. But yeah, you can see them moving just a little bit. And then I think...
I noticed the cat on the left moving more than anything else.
Yeah. I think all the toys here are former test subjects, and they know that in the body of this is a former employee, an employee that did this to them.
Yep, they're
And they're
wanting their
angry.
revenge.
That could be, but it almost sounded to me like it could be that they were made without using a human.
Potentially.
So they may actually be like soulless, created life.
That, or it's the kids, remember? Because that's one prevailing theory that Matt
It
Pat
could be
has.
that too. It could be that they were all kids from the orphanage, and they sensed he was different because he's an adult. And
I think
simultaneously also one of the ones that did that.
I think experiment 1066, you know, the spider hand thing, I think that one doesn't have a soul. And that's why it's taking all of them, because it wants one and it thinks it can get one if it devours enough.
Maybe.
Why is the Pugapillar so much bigger than everything else?
Because, well, you saw how big he was in the...
Yeah.
And the rest of these are, like, really small. Like, the cat, we've seen them. They're, like, really small by comparison. They're, like mid quad or mid calf height.
I kind of had the same question though. Like, what was the logic in making these things big enough to be truly dangerous?
I don't think they were dangerous in the beginning because, you know, I think in the
Or
beginning...
did they make them that big to start with? Or do they have the capacity to grow as they eat?
I don't know. That's the
Because
they're
BakaBread
part
could have
machine,
started
part
out like toy size,
bio,
but then 8 and 8 and 8 until he.
Oh, yeah.
Same with that Huggy, that one Huggy that was actually really tall. Could have been one of the small ones, but then he ate until he grew like 9 foot tall. You know.
Maybe.
Or maybe the bigger ones are the adult or the.
Well,
And I think
That's
with
what doesn't make sense is that the Bronc guy is so small, and he's supposedly
a full adult.
a full adult.
I would say, I don't know. There's a lot in this that I'm not 100% on, but yeah, I don't know. There's a
Maybe
lot. Maybe Matt Pat will have a theory about this soon enough, but
And I think they made Mommy like human size to start with because of her supposed to be. Her purpose was supposed to be as a guardian to the kids.
yes.
And she doesn't look like she was made to be as dangerous as, like, say, Huggy with his teeth or Pugapillier with his teeth, basically. But they probably didn't really anticipate that her noodly, grabby abilities could become dangerous eventually when she flipped her shit.
Well, yeah, and this is the thing, like, the human consciousness, the human mind, if it's deprived of, think about this, if these things can't sleep, what happens to the human mind whenever it is deprived of sleep?
Yeah.
It very slowly goes insane.
And then if they don't have other feelings as well, like if they're essentially just, you know, deprived of all 5 of their senses, like they could eventually start to freak out over things that they used to be able to, like, taste food and then feel things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
True.
If they lost like multiple senses at the same time, that could have a big mental impact on someone too.
Very big.
And then along with not being able to sleep and thinking about stuff like that constantly, like no escape from your thoughts.
Yeah, but this game theory actually came out before this trailer drop, so I guarantee you Matt Pat's already working on a game theory about the trailer that we just watched. So this one is actually something involving the last one, I believe, the Kissy Missy.
So we're doing both of these in the same video?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe our intro won't be as egregious then for what we're watching.
Yeah. Matt Pattis. The spindly legs.
He couldn't have gotten far.
Yeah.
What was that? Stay alert.
It's a theory.
There. Stay calm. Don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you. How about a Diet Coke? You want one?
Sounds
Yeah?
awful.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that only gives you one instruction: have fun!
Smash the subscribe button.
Too late.
Mysterious red text that isn't the same as the rest? Totally not suspicious. Today, with the FNAF timeline finally behind me, we are overdue to cover something completely different. A game where we explore an abandoned children's entertainment venue filled with oversized characters that were at one point friendly, but then turned evil on account of being possessed by the souls of dead children. See? Completely different! Yes, my friends, we're hopping back onto the Poppy Playtime train because, while I've been busy over in my own personal animatronic hellscape, Mob Entertainment has been dropping all sorts of new content. The spin-off title Project Playtime, a complex multi-month-long ARG, and my other favorite form of content, analog horror YouTube videos. Because you can't spell analog horror without the lore! I suppose you
That
can.
was good.
There's no E in analog horror. Well, guess what? It's a silent E anyway. Call it
close
the
enough.
phonetic spelling of lore. So far, Mob has released 2 quote-unquote lost VHS tapes to their YouTube channel. One from 1992 and the second from 1995. Look, the titles have the dates in there and everything. Even a .mp4 at the end for that truly authentic lost footage feel. Despite the fact that the MP4 as a file format didn't exist until 2001. But who am I to judge? Anachronistic
Oh.
file format.
No, I think the biggest thing is just that they named it that when they converted it.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
say that.
Because it's just like they typed in the name that was on the edge of the VHS. They're just like, okay, this is 6/18/1992, and convert.
Yeah, these
There
are
you
just
go.
dudes over at the SCP labs typing all this up after the fact nowadays.
Yeah, basically.
Formats aside, these things aren't just filled with a bunch of mindless spooks building hype for the eventual release of Chapter 3, they're
Kissy.
also filled with clues to the lore. And I think, thanks to one of these, I've been able to solve the identity of a fan-favorite character. Everyone's beloved jumbo pink plushie, Kissy Missy. Who's hidden inside our floppy little friend? I think I have the answer for you. So grab your tranquilizer darts and flashlights, theorists. There's a theory on the loose. The first VHS...
All of a sudden, tranquilizer dart just...
I need one of those at night. I need
Yeah.
to go to bed when I need to.
And say if I was Elvis Presley, it'd take a few trank darts to take me down.
Oh no.
Like, oh, 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 Elvis has left the bill.
released onto the channel was called Restricted Disappearance 06/18/1992.mp4. In this video, we see Huggy escape the facility and run out into the woods with a large group of Playtime employees in pursuit. 5 end up dead and 6 remain missing.
Five.
Seems like Huggy can't be stopped. So then the video ends with an ominous scene of the giant Huggy peacefully standing next to a normal residential house. He's captured and brought back to the facility. In terms of lore, this video does a lot with very little. On the surface, this tape feels very straightforward.
very
Huggy
analog
escapes
horror.
the facility, scares ensue, and then he's brought back. But this short, basic narrative actually goes a long way to confirm many suspicions that we've had about the characters and the events of
It
this
also makes me
franchise.
wonder about the house he was standing next to.
Wonder if that was a house that he knew.
I wonder if that was his house.
Maybe.
It kind of makes me like I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Like for one thing, I don't think I actually noticed him standing there in that last scene for sure until he just said that, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it was there.
But he's like when he said residential house, like that gave me enough time to process. Wait, oh, so was that his house? Interesting.
First, this video reinforces the timeline of the Bigger Bodies initiative, Playtime Co.'s push to create giant toys that help around the factory.
They might
We know
not
beyond
even
luck-
just be pissed because they've been put into toys. They might be pissed because they're confined to their freaking workplace like a prison. I know
Yeah.
I'd be pissed if I got put in the back room of FYE and never got to leave. Know what I mean?
That'd be hell.
I'd probably get murderous
Same
intent
thing,
after a while.
same thing at AT&T. If they put me at AT&T and they're just like, you're a giant AT&T symbol now. It's like, okay, cool. Can I go see my mom? No! It's like, but I did what you wanted. It's like, yes. And now you live here. Forever. And ever. And ever. And ever. It's like, I'm very strongly regretting my decision. We don't care.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then basically they just a giant cage slams down around you. You're just like, I want to murder everyone in here now. That basically how my mental process would go.
cards that are found in Project Playtime that Mommy Longlegs started as a Bigger
They
Body
can't exactly
creation
just let you
before
go
they
out
wound up
walking in
making
public
toys of
looking
her
like
in
that.
1991. So
Why not? It'd be fun. All the kids would scream and oh wait, yeah, you're right.
So this VHS taking place in 1992 fits into that rather nicely. The project is in full swing at this point, and the trapped toys are starting to get restless. It also confirms something that we've suspected for a while now, that some of these giant toys were created using orphans in some way. That's why we see Huggy standing outside of a house at the end of the tape. He was just trying to go back home, the home that he was either adopted into or his foster home. His childlike instincts taking him back to the last place that he felt safe. It's this incredibly sad, somber moment that does a lot to showcase the tragedy of this game's story. But that's not all. This Huggy seems to be acting differently to the one that we met in Chapter 1. Huggy escapes the facility, but there's no mention of violence towards the staff. Huggy only seems to become violent to the employees after they shoot at him. This tells me that Huggy, and presumably some of the other experiments like him, aren't naturally violent. It also reinforces what we see in Project Playtime's tutorial. Huggy is largely complacent until the prototype urges Huggy to kill.
They are trying to build more toys, more like you. Kill everyone in sight.
It really seems like the Bigger Bodies monsters are the collateral damage in this war between Playtime Co-employees and the prototype, Experiment 1006.
1006. I thought it was 1066. I was wrong.
I think Huggy's 1066.
No, I think, maybe.
One of them.
They're the innocents that wind up being caught in the middle. This is something that we can start to see more clearly in the next tape, Restricted Relocation 0808-1995.mp4. In this newest VHS tape, we see Kissy Missy being transported towards play care in August of 1995. The tape repeatedly tells us not to view the footage. I can't possibly see that plan going wrong in any way. Again, just shows the absolute negligence of this company. So of course, we keep watching, and in true Playtime Co. fashion, things start to go wrong. We travel down the rails with Kissy strapped to the train. As we ride, we pass by graffiti on the wall that reads, "The hour of joy is at hand." In between camera shots, we see text flash on screen meant to be instructions for employees, but then each message winds up getting overridden by capitalized red text that says basically to do the opposite. It tells them to release the straps that bind Kissy Missy, which, as you'd expect, means that the employees wind up dead at the side of the tracks. It's another simple, straightforward tape that does an incredible job of hiding tons of lore clues in plain sight. Let's just start with the date, shall we? Poppy's already done a great job of mapping out a very clear timeline for us, unlike some other franchises.
What is that one?
Five Nights at Freddy's. That's Scott Cawthon's original Avatar.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's the thing. Five Nights at Freddy's timeline is a mess. I went through and watched like the whole area as best as Matt Pat could put it together, and it sort of kind of made sense, but he took a lot of logical leaps to make it work. Because, there's big gaps that don't make sense, and there's timeline skips and redos and reboots. It's just like, damn. That's why I think a lot of people are liking Poppy Playtime a lot better in certain regards, because the timeline makes sense.
It's like they're trying to do something similar, but they're trying to actually write it more coherently.
Yes.
Like, while still maintaining a mystery while they do.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we know when each toy was made, starting with Poppy in 1950 and ending with BoogieBot in 1993. And because Mommy Longlegs was a big body before her toy released in
Dancing causes me pain. I felt so bad pushing that button so many times. This was like, no!
1991, we also know that the giant toys were in development sometime before that. At this point, the only key date that we're really missing is the day that the toys went rogue, destroying the facility and either kidnapping or killing members of the staff, as we hear in the background of this Chapter 1 VHS tape.
That's why I'm making this log, so that the same mistake won't be made twice.
But now, thanks to a combination of this relocation tape as well as the developer interview, I think we can tell when it happened. Recently, the developers went onto Discord to answer a bunch of questions that the community had, and one was about the date in which the Playtime Co. factory shut down. Well, I'm sure we all would have loved to have a definitive answer from them. Where's the fun in that? They had to make us work for it. What they did clarify, though, was that the factory did not shut down in the 2000s. This then narrows our window to a 7-year period between 1993 and 1999, which, let's say, is a lot more precise than we've had up to this point. But I actually think we can do it one better. Take a listen to the audio that we hear in the background of the restricted relocation tape. Hear those screams in the background? Do they sound familiar?
Whether those who are beneath us understand it or not.
Those screams, the screams of employees being mauled to death by giant toys, those are the screams that we can hear in the distance. The event that shut the factory down happened on this date, August 8th, 1995. This is the day of the Great Toy Rampage, and it's all on account of him. Experiment 1006, the prototype.
Though still missing, today's events are no doubt in relation to him.
He's the one orchestrating this attack on the employees. Not only is he speaking telekinetically to all the toys in the facility, urging them to kill, but he's also the one manipulating these VHS tapes, altering the text to all caps or using the color red to communicate with us, getting not just the monsters to rebel, but the humans watching the tapes to listen to his commands. Suddenly, that graffiti that we see in the tunnel, "The hour of joy is at hand," makes a lot more sense. It feels like something that Experiment 1006 would say, or more specifically, the person that became 1006, Elliot Ludwig. His whole goal was to bring joy to children, and after being betrayed and turned into a monster by Leith Pierre and the Doctor, it makes sense that he would use the same terminology, almost ironically. These toys were made from children to be workhorses. Now, he will finally be able to free them and give them the joy that he had promised them since the beginning. Except, there was one thing that didn't quite go according to plan. Kissy Missy didn't kill the train staff like she was supposed to. Now, I know y'all probably think that I've lost it. Clearly, those Playtime employees around her feet are dead. Just look at the blood on Kissy, around her feet, around her hands, around her mouth. This is an open and shut case, right? notes, but to that I say, look again.
What do you think these are? Is that not blood splatter? I mean, could be scratches.
1006 is the only creature that we currently know about in this entire facility that has claws capable of creating marks in the wood like that. He has to have been here during this moment, shredding up the employees once he realized that Kissy wasn't going to be doing it herself. What's more, Kissy Missy is laying on top of the scratches. It means that she was standing aside while the prototype slashed and slaughtered everyone around her, and then resumed her position on the train when he was done, like a good, obedient toy. Truly the best girl. You can even see what appears to be bones or intestines on the floor by her feet, something that would have been eaten if this was any other giant toy. But Kissy refused. She left them there. This wasn't an act of hunger like with Huggy killing people. This was 1006 acting out of revenge. Revenge for turning him into a monster, for torturing the kids that he swore to protect, and for locking away the only thing he ultimately cared about, his daughter, Poppy. But I think we can actually keep going here. I think we can actually prove the identity of Kissy Missy. We're rarely given names of actual humans in this franchise, but when we are given a name, they tend to be repeated a lot throughout the chapters to show that they're going to be important to the ongoing narrative. That said, there are still a couple names right now that haven't led to anything substantial. For instance, during chapter 2, we can actually find this note.
Entire batch of toys is miscolored due to Patty Hall sabotaging the painting machine. Saboteur has since been dealt with.
Patty Hall. This was a new character that we'd never heard about before and was never mentioned again. That struck me as odd. Even one-off characters like Avery, the disgruntled worker from a VHS found in chapter 1, gets himself a second VHS in chapter 2 to flesh him out a bit. But Patty, yeah, she was just there. A random name on a random rejected toy form. Or at least that's the way it was until the ARG launched. In case you missed this one, the ARG involved us following the story of a new character, Rowan Stoll, an employee who was slowly figuring out that something wasn't quite right at Playtime. And as a part of that ARG, he released a bunch of internal documents via an FTP server that we could access. And one of those documents on there was this, a disciplinary document for a familiar face, Patty Hall. Quote, details of occurrence, sabotage of retail shipment. This week of 1/2/91, employee intentionally sabotaged factory equipment, in particular, a paint machine. The employee mismatched 57 paint canisters, resulting in an extraordinary amount of toys no longer being suitable for retail. Retail shipment number 018345 was recalled, resulting in a significant amount of lost revenue as well as damaging Playtime Co.'s brand image amongst several major retailers. There is substantial evidence supporting the assumption that this sabotage was done in some sort of defiance to several of Playtime Co.'s practices. Plan for disciplinary action, effective immediately. Employee is demoted from toy designer and will be sent downstairs to Storage B to receive further instructions. All of this took place on January 2nd, 1991, signed by none other than our good friend and leader of the Bigger Bodies Initiative, the Doctor. The next time we're down in Storage B, there are no employees working there. It is literally a storage room for toys that are being experimented on. Notice the blood that covers this smaller Mommy Longlegs doll in the background. The only living thing that we see in Storage B, Kissy Missy. Could it be that Kissy Missy and Patty Hall are actually one and the same? I know that might feel like a bit of a stretch, but think about what we're seeing here. It's 1991, so the Bigger Bodies Initiative is in full swing. We have a character in Patty who's openly defiant to those in authority, a chaotic neutral, just like we see with Kissy defying the prototype's rampage. And we have ourselves a character associated with creating alternate colored versions of other toys, just like how Kissy is an alternate colored Huggy. Plus, the biggest clue of all, the fact that we've only seen Storage B mentioned with regards to these two characters screams a connection. Lastly, it would explain why Kissy Missy is friendly towards us in Chapter 2. Sure, she's against Playtime Co. She has been from the start. She was sabotaging their toys, but I also don't think that she's on the side of 1006. She witnessed the monster kill her fellow employees in cold blood on the train. My gut is that she just wants this whole place to burn. And so when she sees us, a person trapped inside the facility just trying to get out, she sees an opportunity. We are the only ones that can stop not only 1006, but also destroy Playtime Co. from the inside, have those still alive brought to justice, and have the fond legacy of Playtime Co. tarnished and forgotten forever. That is why she helped us. And given the instructional video shows her heading towards the play care, I wouldn't be surprised if we bump into her again in Chapter 3, helping us to take on whatever new threat awaits us. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. And if you want to keep this Poppy train a-rolling, here's a link to our most recent Poppy theory over on the left, where we break down the secrets in the game's first season to dive deeper into the origins of 1006. Or, you know, if you're sick of listening to us talk about dead kids, you could always watch our video on Tom Nook's criminal undertakings. I promise you, there is more to him than meets the eye. That video is over on the right. As always, my friends, don't forget...
The angry Tom Nook
yeah,
is hilarious.
He's just like... You still haven't paid me your rent.
Dude, I don't get why he gets that reputation. He's literally the nicest loan shark ever.
Literally.
He's just like, dude, pay me back when you can. Like, it's like, oh, you need more? Here you go. Just pay me back when you can.
It's great.
It's like he's not going to give you another one until you pay him back, but he's not going to come after your kneecaps either. I know, I've owed the motherfucker money for like 2 years now, and he hadn't said shit.
Kissy Missy might be that girl, but I still think it's that one that we ran into. Like, we saw the VHS tape with her. It was the one who was just like, I've just always wanted to entertain people and, make people laugh.
Oh.
I forget her name, but I think it might be her instead. Because, the one woman, storage B and wait for further instructions. I don't know. There's things...
I kind of agree with you because she seems like the most benevolent person that could be put into a toy that might not want revenge afterwards.
Yeah.
The other girl was like actively defiant, like, fuck your machines and fuck y'all for doing this stuff. I feel like it's more likely she could have been Mommy.
Potentially.
Because I think the whole thing is the reason that, like, Mommy and probably the others are so hostile towards you is, like he kind of said in the you're not the hero version. You are an employee, and therefore they're going to have hostility towards you as an employee of the place.
Let's see. Creation date, 1991. When was that girl sent down to Plan B, Storage Room B? 1991. There you go.
Matt Pat.
Whereas, hold on. Whereas Kissy Missy was
85.
The toy was made in 85, but the monster was made in 91.
Oh.
So they're both within the same time frame.
It fits, but so does my theory. Like, I think I'm going to disagree with Matt Pat on this one, and I think I'm going to go with what you're saying.
I think so too.
Like, I think it could be that he slightly misjudged that.
Let's see. Do they have the do they have, dang it, freaking pop-up?
Half the time I'll say stuff like, I think it could be Mommy, actually, and then, like, the date will prove me completely wrong, but it lines up, so...
Yeah.
I really think that's more likely.
Son of a bitch.
Because think about this, too. Someone as nice as the one lady, right, basically finds out that one of the employees was just sent down and was put against her will for disciplinary action into Mommy Longlegs. You think she's going to have some shit to say? And then they're going to take her down for disciplinary action, and then she gets put into Kissy Missy, basically.
Stella Graber.
Stella, yeah.
That's her name. Let's see. Stella Graber, often misspelled as Stella Graber on the VHS, pink VHS tape. So... confirmed to be hired, most likely worked in the game station. Player pulled a lever.
See, I don't even see that as being a game mistake. That could literally be on purpose because people misspell other people's names.
Confirmed to be Dutch American, so yeah. Theorized to be the player, so they're saying we're Stella.
Oh.
That's an interesting
thought. Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
Because that could make sense as to why you have a motive to even be there again.
True. Patty Hall is the other one. Yeah. Her name is only, it appears on the orders. Voiced by none. Okay, so 114.91.
Speculated that Patty Hall is the soul inside Kissy Missy.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
I like the Kissy Missy theory. Like, the fact that Patty Hall could be Kissy Missy makes more sense to me, but
maybe
that's just my opinion.
I don't know. Well, that's the thing. That's why I like this so much, is because the theories that we come up with, they're all plausible because there's just so many little nits in the spider web for us to tug on and like theorize about.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about that. But Yeah, that right there, I don't know. There's a lot that's going into this, and I'm loving it.
What was the other thing that he was talking about with the employee in the yellow outfit? Did we miss that? Like, it's more towards the end.
Yeah, Rowan.
Yeah, it's what did he call it?
It's an ARG.
Alternate reality, yeah.
It's basically you complete the parts of the game, you get a little bit more of what happened to him.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure if they
usually
revealed...
those kind of games are like on your phone or something like that.
Rowan stole Poppy Playtime. Consumed by Boxy.
Whoa.
So yeah, I remember seeing that. I remember seeing, yep, this is...
Oh, that.
Yeah, this is the end of the secret tape. So yeah, Rowan just walks up to it. He's like, "What's this Chuck in the box doing here?" Surprise!
Yoink.
Yeah, so basically, he just gets devoured, as you can see right there. It's super fast.
It's like a cobra.
Nom. And then just yanks him inside to devour him.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty wicked. I love it. So yeah, that stuff right there. I mean, I'm glad that they're keeping this stuff going. They're keeping the train rolling on the lore and everything. And I can't wait to see what Chapter 3 looks like. I'm very hotly anticipating it, and I can't wait for that to come out so that, we can continue to scare the absolute shit out of Kate.
I really...
Scares you too.
And me.
Did a number on me.
To an extent,
especially
the
first
shit out of me. Oh, yeah. First one got you good.
Sure.
Got me good, too. That him reveal, like, Huggy Wuggy revealing himself from the shadows.
Yep.
And just like, shit.
See, I think the last one is going to be the best because it's obviously going to be 1006. And the fact that they've only showed his creepy, spindly hand so far.
I wonder if they'll reveal more of him.
I don't know. I think that they're probably not going to give him away until, like, that final chapter that he's the main antagonist for finally drops.
Yeah.
Because his reveal in the game needs to be just, soul-destroyingly horrifying.
Yes. Like, we are basically... seeing, like, we see, like, we're being, like, lowered down in an elevator, and then all of a sudden the elevator stops. It's just like, welcome.
There's an elevator?
Maybe, I don't know. That's just a theory.
He's just
there's,
making
like,
stuff
imagine,
up
like,
right
an elevator, like, dropping down, and very slowly the light above you just disappears, and you're just like
if they use an elevator,
darkness.
that's gonna be really.
And then all of a sudden,
I don't like elevators.
All of a sudden,
there's a
just,
whole.
The elevator doors open, and then all of a sudden, the hand like reaches in there, and he's about to grab you. He's just like, he's like.
I need to show you Daryl's video on the psychology of elevators and games.
Yes, it's pretty good. Anyway, y'all, we're going to have to end it here. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Nate.
I'm Kate.
I am Nick.
Until next time, everybody. Peace.